Good evening. I just wanted to touch base again. It's been quite some time, a couple of months now since I did my last video, and I apologize for that. I ran into a time crunch in doing my 79 Bronco with a Gen 3 Coyote swap and a 10R80 out of a F-150. Anyways, my last video, I think I had it running. I had very little oil pressure, and I just ran into a couple things, and again had a time crunch and really needed to finish things up and get it running for a trip that I took it on. I ended up taking it out to Oregon coast and running it there and back from Central Washington, which is about, I guess when it was all said and done, it was about a 1,250 mile round trip with all the little driving around and jots that I did while I was there. Pulled a trailer with it. It pulled fantastic. Everything went very well. All in all, the trip was awesome. It was a great experience for the family and everything. So, and we took this, like I said. Some of the changes I've made since the last video were this PMAS system, air intake. I ran with that, and this is actually for a 18 to 20 some odd GT Mustang 5.0, and I didn't even have to alter this other than I bent this tab just a little bit, but essentially this plate is how it would go in the Mustang, and it actually follows this curve perfectly down here. It was actually quite easy to install. The biggest hurdle was just getting the right angle and just making sure everything flowed correctly, and that all worked out just fine. I got all the braking system in, Willwood with the Hydro Boost from Battleborn Brakes. But just to touch base in regards to the oil pressure, I think I mentioned it was just acting funny. It would have oil pressure and then it wouldn't. I ended up going to Power by the Hour and talking to them quite a bit about things. And these Gen 3 Coyotes have a plastic oil pan with a plastic oil pickup, at the bottom of the oil pan. And sometimes it just doesn't go right. And now this motor I'd never opened up myself because it was, only had 8,000 miles on it. So there was no real reason to really open it up. Anyways, so I went ahead, and there's plenty of room in this thing to do it while it's in there. And so I just because it's four-wheel drive, it just worked out. I dropped the oil pan, and sure enough, it just dropped right out, and it wasn't even sealed to the oil pickup. The little gasket had slipped down below the little plastic lip, and just slipped down enough that it was picking up some oil, but just wasn't pressurizing correctly. So that's why I'd have intermittent oil pressure. Luckily, I didn't ride it very long that way, and there was no damage that I could find in any sound or anything like that with the motor. So I went with Power by the Hour's Gen 2 Coyote oil swap. The oil pan, it just comes with a different pickup tube and whatnot, and a couple different standoffs, and a Gen 2 Coyote oil pan that bolts, of course, right up to this Gen 3. So I went with that swap, and everything went seamless. Fixed my oil pressure problems. Like I said, got all the little bugs worked out. There wasn't a lot. I mean, these things are pretty much plug and play for the most part. This is, I've done several of these swaps, so, I guess that does help, of course. When I ran it down to Oregon, it was with the stock tune, and I had worked with a company called Juggernaut for the tuning, and they just had to adapt a couple little things that I wanted for the transmission shifting and whatnot, because I'll pull with this truck and things like that. It was pretty simple. I left the stock air intake for that trip, that 1,250 mile round trip, and everything worked great. I didn't hook up the air conditioning while I made the trip just because I ran out of time, and that's essentially why I didn't finish the video. I just didn't have time to do it. You know, we had family plans, and we just needed to make it happen. So I just kind of rushed through, and that's why this video has taken so long for me to put out. And then I've been working on another project, and that just took my time, and I just never finished this up. So just wanted to, you know, show you what it looks like all installed with the cover and everything, with the braking, with the new PMAS air intake system. Again, I worked with Juggernaut, and they gave me a new tune for that PMAS. Everything's been working fine. There's the air conditioning setup. And really nothing else has changed. It's very much the way it was last time you saw it on the video, other than it's running on its own power. Driven it a bunch, did a lot of testing with it, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Kind of a pain. I'll just touch base real quick in regards to these CVF hood hinges that they have. Awesome company. I've used them before, never had any issues with them. These bolted right up, no problem there. But not a lot of instruction in regards to adjustability on these things. So I had to really figure it out on my own, which it wasn't hard. It just took some time. I must have played with it quite a bit, just trying to get it all together and whatnot, and it ended up working out just fine, and I really like them. I'm pleased with them. But, you know, I just wanted a little bit more information as far as adjusting it. But, you know, I think I did a fire up video with you all, but this is essentially, you know, everything all together. The dash is all set up. I have not changed the carpet kit yet. It still has my MP435 manual shifting spot down there in the carpet. Everything else works just fine. That's really what I've been waiting to do. I'm not sure my next process or my next project with this. It'll probably be the Willwood brake conversion for the disc brakes. It already has 4-wheel disc brakes, but I want a little bit better stopping power, since I will be towing with this occasionally. It's just a light trailer, aluminum trailer, but I go down 4-wheeling on the Oregon coast quite a bit, and I just want to make sure that works right for me. I haven't started this thing in probably about a month now. Just been working on another project, which I'm going to show here in just a minute, but let's let that kind of prime up, do its thing. I haven't started it, like I said, about a month, so it took some time to get the fuel pressurized, but everything fires up just fine. Nice oil pressure is what you expect, about 100 psi on these Coyotes once they're first fired up. Everything's been great. I just can't complain about this whole setup. But this is loud, so I'm going to shut it off. Anyways, fires right up. No problems at all. It's just a blast to drive. The tuning, like I said, from Juggernaut is top notch. They did a fantastic job. Things very responsive. The shifting's great. I even had them adjust the fan when it turns on. I think stock for a GT Mustang, the ECU has fan come on about 205 degrees, right around there. Because I tow with this, not heavy weight, but, you know, a couple thousand pounds here and there with some 4-wheelers, I needed it to come on a little sooner. It was hot when I took the trip. It was the very end of June, and we ran down to Oregon coast. When we got to the coast, it was nice and cool, but the drive to the coast was warm. It was very hot. Central Washington, about that time, was 100 degrees, you know, definitely in the high 90s. And I didn't have any issues. It just, I could tell the fan wouldn't kick on until about 205, and then it would creep up to 210 roughly, 212, right around there. I just don't like getting that warm on a vehicle, not on a truck, so especially a truck platform. So I talked to Juggernaut, and they made some adjustments for me, and it just dialed it in just perfect. I'm real happy with it. But anyways, that's the Bronco. That's the update. Like I said, did a 1,250 mile round trip roughly. No issues. It was awesome. Nice overflow tank here for the radiator, and everything's been great. I'm very pleased with this project. Like I said, the whole setup is just exactly what I was hoping for, and I just can't complain. Since that trip, I got the air conditioning hooked up, charged, and the only thing I have to do for the AC is just finish up the power by the hour fan control. There's a diode, direction polarized diode that you have to put in that they show in their wiring diagram, so that the fan kicks on when the air conditioning is called for, and as well as when the control pack from the ECU sends the signal for the fan to kick on as well. So awesome. If you guys have any questions, please post them, and I'll try and respond as quickly as I can. This Bronco is, kind of my baby. It's been in the family now for 27, 28 years. It's just awesome. We love it. Like I said, a very good friend of mine's dad bought it new, so this is awesome. Anyways, all stainless hardware. Everything, I think I've touched base with everyone else. The only thing I need to do, excuse me, is to hook up the windshield washer fluid. I got the hose and everything, all the fittings. Because of this PMAS, when I installed it, I wasn't sure how it was going to fit. It fits a little tight, so I'm not 100% if I'm going to go with that or a universal, just kind of a square tank that I put right here. Haven't decided yet, but I got to play with that just a little bit. And there's enough room right here, but it's kind of tight, and it doesn't really need to be right there. The wiring's simple, so I could just put it right here in this corner, and there's plenty of room there. So anyways, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. This is a PMAS cold air intake system. This is where the factory air conditioning condenser kind of goes, and dryer goes through there. And I just left that open because it comes right through directly from the grill, so it's nice cool air blowing in directly into the PMAS. I considered enlarging that hole just to give the PMAS that much more air, but I'm not real worried about the ambient air temperatures in here with the shield and with just the airflow moving through the grill and just being wide open here. And there's gap right here for the hood to kind of come over, and there's just lots of air. And this little bit of shielding definitely helps keep some of that engine temperature away from the air filter. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is and just kind of watch the tuning and see how it goes. But definitely this PMAS, I could feel a difference in the throttle response, and I'm very happy with it. So this was going to show you real quick the next project. I think I talked about this. I was going to move on to my son's 73 dent side, but he is in the military right now, and when he got home from his church mission, it just didn't work out that we could work on it together before he went into the military. So I went on to this project, and it's been fun. Essentially, it's going to be the same setup as my 1971 F100 heavy duty special that I had on Bring a Trailer earlier this year, and that I did a YouTube video series on. It's going to be essentially the same setup, except for it's white, and it's a custom. It's a 1972 F250 custom. It had the trailer wiring and stuff like that. It was really set up heavy duty. I'm very very happy with it. It's got the thicker frame like the F250s do. And I'm doing the same exact setup that I did on that 1971 Heavy Duty Special. So I haven't really recorded anything. I've just taken a lot of pictures, but I haven't recorded anything new for this because it's essentially just kind of an echo of what I've already done. If you guys want to see more of this content, please do, send me a request, and I will do more videos and whatnot. I just now started masking off for the plastic so I can get this all undercoated. It's got a phosphoric acid wash on it right now. That's what this haze is all over everything. This is a very clean truck. Really no rust on it at all anywhere. The only thing it's got is this dent right here in this this bed. It's very irritating. I'm not sure. It looks like it wasn't done right, obviously, since it's cracking. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do, if I'm just going to sand this whole side of the bed down and see what it looks like underneath. I can't find any indentions on the inside of the bed, so whoever did it did a good job, minus that filler. So I'm just going to grind it down. If it's a very thin filler, I'll just, get it down, do some epoxy primer, and then do a top filler on it, and just paint this bottom half of the bed. But again, no rust anywhere, outside of just some surface stuff that's very typical. The interior's all gutted, so there's really nothing in here other than some blankets and stuff, and I haven't cleaned anything out other than I tore the old vinyl that was out. It's got the factory air. I don't know much about these air conditioning units. I assume this is a factory air and not dealer installed, but I don't know 100% on this setup. Everything I can find out is this is factory air. If you know some information about it, I would love to know. I know a lot about these old trucks, but there's a few things about the bump sides that I'm just not 100% on them, and one of them is air conditioning units. So I don't know much about it. I dropped it. I pulled it out when I first got it. Just kind of checked some things. Everything seemed okay. Put a new heater core in it and just kind of put it back in here. Still debating on whether I'm going to use it or go with the vintage air system. I like the vintage air system because not only do you have these two vents here, you got one here, a couple here, and then one over there on the driver's side. So it kind of helps cooling things down, and I'm not 100% if I'm going to keep this or not. And I'm interested to know what you guys think. I do like keeping it factory if I can, and this is a still relatively good unit. Like I said, I just switched the heater core, no big deal. And it'll be easy enough to adapt it to the R134A refrigerant as I need to, because I got a new air conditioning compressor and stuff like that. And I'll just flush it and we'll go from there. But let me know what you guys think. Dash pad's real cracked up at the very top. It obviously sat in the sun for a while, so I am going to switch it out. I'm not sure the route I'm going to take on that. I have a TMI Sport with white stitching, all black with white stitching up here. Dash pad, I may go that route. If that's the case, then that steering column I'm going to drop and clean it up and probably get it powder coated black. I really want to keep the white on black look. This is blue, obviously, and the steering column is blue, but the steering wheel is shot, and you can't get those in blue, not without dyeing them and stuff. They all come in black now, aftermarket, and I'm not feeling the blue, especially considering it's just a white truck with a little bit of chrome trim, and I think it would look awesome in white on black. So undercoating obviously is going to be black. I'm going to go with that same Summit chassis shield 2-part epoxy. It's awesome. I just ground out all the old seam sealer and put in new stuff yesterday, and I'm just now kind of taping some things up, getting ready for the undercoating. And I am going to go all the way up to this edge just because the paint, you know, it's original, it's old, and I can clean it up a little bit, but I would rather just do, again, white on black. And that's what I did with that 1971 heavy-duty F100 Special that I sold on Bring a Trailer. And I'm just kind of going to do that with this. This truck, it's running 2007 matching front and rear Super Duty front and rear differentials, axle assemblies. They're all white and kind of chalky right now because I just did the phosphoric acid wash this morning, and it's just kind of drying right now. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I already cleaned everything, got degreased. Thankfully, this truck was not undercoated at all before, so it was just bare. And I got it out of Lewiston, Idaho, and not too far from me, about a 4-hour drive roughly. Was a awesome drive, and the truck, I was very pleased with it. It didn't have a motor in it, so that made it even simpler for my Coyote swap. It is getting a Gen 2 Coyote with a 6R80. However, in just keeping it more of a high boy build instead of, you know, going with the Dana 44 high boy front and rear axles and the divorce case, I went with the Super Duty setup from Battleborn Brakes because I really like the handling, the steering, the braking, especially the braking. Wow, it's magnificent, the braking. And I just like that suspension, the radius arms. It just works really well, and it's very comfortable to drive. So I'm sticking with that, and I am rolling with Dana 24 divorce case. So the Gen 2 Coyote that's going in it, out of a Mustang, at very low miles considering Gen 2. It's under 30,000 miles for the motor and transmission, and it's going to go in here. And again, divorce case, so it'll have an intermediate shaft. I put the divorce case about where it goes stock, so the drive lines will be very similar to what a Highboy's length and drive lines are. Got all the steering set up here. This is the stock steering column, and all you got to do is cut off the old knuckle piece here that goes to the two-wheel drive box here. It had power steering from the factory, and I removed all that and cut that off, and this is just a 3/4 inch I think 36 blind, and to a 3/4 DD steering shaft. And it's a slip joint, so this slips. I got a boot I'm gonna put on after I get it painted and undercoated. These are stainless rod ends for the steering leakage, and got it all fitted, and the angle on it's just awesome. It really turned out nice. Got the custom brake lines ran, just keeping everything as stock as I can, minus obviously it's going to be 4-wheel drive, and converted to Super Duty axles. One thing that I can't stand about Ford's, I guess, manufacturing process back in the 70s is they, with these 2-wheel drive cross members here, they didn't weld them in right. I mean, they just did a little weld here, and there's a couple little spot welds, not anything special. So while I had it all out and cleaned up, I did a complete weld all the way around to stiffen this thing up. I did that with that 1971 F100 that I sold earlier. It was easy setup, and I did the same here, and it really strengthens it up, and I'm happy with that. Let's see here. I feel like I'm kind of echoing some of the things I did with that 1971. Everything is pretty much the same. Like you can see, there's just no rust. Everything's just super clean on this truck. Other than I just need to clean up some things, but it's just clean. And anyways, it did have the side tank 2-wheel drive. Obviously won't work with where the divorce transfer case is sitting, so that right now I haven't decided. I'm just going to plug the other end, and this will go nowhere. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to keep the end cab tank. There's a lot of pros and several cons with it. The definite pros are that's factory. This factory fill position. Another pro is with an in-tank fuel pump. It keeps it cooler. Some of the cons, obviously, is a lot of people believe it's not very safe because there's gasoline right behind you, which, of course, that can prove to be an issue. If you have all new seals and new gaskets, you should be fine. But there's some peace of mind in relocating this. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do. This tank's in real good shape. If I decide to keep it, then I'll do it just like that 71 F100 that I sold earlier this year. I just pulled the bumper and just cleaned it up and painted it just the same color. It's the heavy duty step bumper that these Fords come with, all just kind of that aluminum look, silver. Cleaned it up inside and out, painted it. Actually had I sanded the whole thing down almost to bare metal, put epoxy primer on, and then I coated it. It's in great shape now. This does have the towing package on it. Obviously not factory, it was added on later, but it's a good class 4 hitch, so it should work great. This is just kind of a little look on these Battleborn brakes Super Duty purchase for the axle. I'm running a 4-inch lift block in the back with the Battleborn brakes 1/2-inch steel top plate. Works great. This guy that I bought it from, he was the original owner, was an older gentleman, super nice guy. He had pulled the 390 motor out and was going to rebuild it himself and just lost time and didn't get it done. He did, however, rhino line this back bed, and it's in real good shape other than some dirt. I got some chrome headline trim in here for now. Haven't cleaned it up yet, but the bed's in real good shape. There's just no dents, there's no rust, and it's just dirty, but easy to clean up. Let's see here. That's the big old factory air 390 air compressor with the bracket. If anyone needs one, let me know. I've got this. It's obviously a tank to ship, but we can work something out. Other than that, I guess this is that. This mirror was missing here, so I ordered a new mirror online. I shouldn't say new. I got a factory Ford mirror to match the other side, and yeah, just essentially a junior mirror. Got it matching. It still says Fumoco on the back. It's awesome. Like I said, all new seam sealer, and this should be good. I'm probably going to undercoat it in the next couple of days. I haven't decided. There's just a lot that goes on that you have to tape, plastic, and usually I pull the bed off when I do the undercoating. But this one, like I said, the bed's just in good shape, and there was no real need to pull it off, and everything just, the body lines are just perfect on it. So I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to do a really good job taping it down and just masking off everything, and it should be great. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Again, this is probably my 3rd Battleborn kit that I've put on to convert some 2-wheel drives to 4-wheel drive. Never had any issues with them. They're fantastic to work with if you have any questions. And this video is getting a little long, so I think I'm going to end it. And essentially, it was the start on an update of the 79 Bronco with the Gen 3 Coyote, and I led it on to this next project that I'm doing. And once I'm done with this and I sell this one, I'm going on to a 69 Highboy project that I'm doing for my own driving. And when that's done, I'll probably hit this 73 of my son's and just get it done myself. This is one of the Super Duty 10.5 Sterling rear ends. This one's got 4 11s in it, and I have the matching front end for it from the 07 Super Duty. And anyways, gonna be dropping that in my 79 crew cab project that I'll be doing. But that's probably gonna wait until I get my daily driver, which is, this is the highboy frame that I have just sitting up right here. I gotta cut out all the old unusable cross members and clean up some things and get it sandblasted, and I'll powder coat it and then go from there. Excuse me. Definitely allergy season, and I am suffering from that. Yeah, so this one's, like I said, going to be my daily driver, so I'm super excited and stoked about that. That should be a good project for me and just fun to drive. And going with the 4-wheel drive frame because I like the smaller cross member up here for the 4-wheel drive. It just makes it easier to work on the engine if I need to, and just kind of thought, oh, I'm going to go with that route, and I'll be happy with that. So let me know if you guys have any questions. You can see all the scrap stuff from taking out everything from the stock Coyote, as well as the highboy springs, the stock springs from the F250 72 that I'm converting Battleborn stuff, and just cutting everything out, and gonna take all this stuff down to scrap metal. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Have any questions, concerns, please do a shout out. Yeah, enjoy, gentlemen and ladies. Hope this video finds you well. Thanks. Bye.